But it's a huge development area. It's in the whole area of user experience. The next step that we're going to talk about now is when people have that experience, they comment on it. And that takes us to survey analytics. And Michael Kessler from Review Pro is now going to talk about this area. Review Pro are the world leaders in global intelligence solutions for the hospitality industry. He lives in Barcelona.
I do.
Okay. I'm envious already, here. So we're going now from Cleveland, Ohio to Barcelona. Michael, do you want to join
Thanks.
us? Yeah.
Thanks, James. Thanks. Okay, so can you hear me? Can you hear me well? Yes? So 2 more to go before lunch, so I'll make it as entertaining for everybody as I can. So in the next 30 minutes, I want to talk a bit about what we call guest intelligence. As James says, people leave lots of reviews. They share it on Facebook. There are more than 200 channels where people actually can leave feedback. And every review holds a lot of information. Obviously, collecting reviews and analyzing reviews manually, I'm sure some still do it, but that's what technology is for. And we help to actually deliver better experiences. And not only this is not a social media, we're not looking for likes. We're really looking into how we can use this information to drive revenue and increase and improve our services. Okay. So we work with a lot of hotels, we work with restaurants, like everything that has a digital profile, but because we wanted to look at some data that we did analyze for Edinburgh and for Glasgow. And this is data that we collected, this is year to date. So this is only 2016. Okay, and so what we see here, so we've analyzed 200,000 reviews for 340 3, 4, and 5 star hotels. So that's a lot of information. That's a lot of information. It's not only used to give feedback to the hotel, but also other travelers who read peer-to-peer feedback. It impacts their decisions whether they travel to a destination or they travel to a competing destination. Okay, so let's look at some of the outcomes. Okay, so first of all, what we use is what we call the Global Review Index. That's an industry standard by now. More than 30,000 clients use it from hotels. Scottish Enterprise as a client. We have countries like Greece, Italy, our clients to use it to measure guest experience and guest impact. And so what we've seen here is this is a score out of 100, which is a normalized score that we built across all those 200 channels. Like TripAdvisor has out of 5. Booking is out of 10. Others, they use a different scale. So we normalize into one score to actually make it comparable and, across all platforms, but also across, the whole market. It's also used a lot in research, when it's about, measuring experience and the impact on, any kind of business. And we can see that Edinburgh, like this is the 5-star, 4-star, and 3-star hotels. We can see Edinburgh leads clearly with 5-star hotels with a very high score, 90%. So the 5-star leads the market, but if you compare, let's say, the 4-star market with the 5-star market in the different cities, it's not said that because you're a 5-star hotel, you have higher guest experience. We have hostels as clients, they have higher guest experiences than 90%, because it's all about my expectation. I come to visit, I come to stay, I come to dine, and my expectation, if I want to have a burger, if I want to have a filet mignon, you got to meet my expectations. Okay, and this is all that it is saying actually here. So for you to measure, how can I meet the expectation? What expectations do I set? And what's the target audience that is consuming my services? Traveler types, especially for hotels, but also for destinations. Who's coming? Who am I attracting? Do I need to change my services because I get feedback, solo couples, families, or business travelers. So who depending on who's coming, the hotels know this. Leisure travelers need to be treated differently than business travelers. Leisure travelers, they spend more time inside the hotel. Business travelers, they want to have free Wi-Fi, breakfast, and a comfortable bed. And you can see here, for example, in Edinburgh, most happy, most satisfied are the solo travelers. So now you have lots of solo travelers coming, so you know that, their experience. You can optimize your services, whilst the couples in Glasgow, show more happiness. And so if you look at a destination, a hotel, any unit as a business, this lets you optimize your service because maybe I should look at on the business side of things because I have shortcomings and I need to look into what are they, and we analyze this as well. We analyze it because we do sentiment analysis, so it means that our platform is reading all the reviews. We do this with algorithms, and we use machine learning to look into individual reviews, and we highlight positive and negative feedback. And not only do we show it to you by review, but also we aggregate it and we show you, for example, in specific categories, room, noise, apartments, and windows, how many mentions you've gotten, the distribution between positive and negative, and also we show you trends. Because one thing is, if you go to Paris, everybody complains, the rooms are small and the rates are high. Now, we don't have to tell this to hoteliers because, they know it, but you need to understand, what's the impact and what are the trends, and we show you the trends as well here, because what you need to do really is to respond and react to trends. You might be an individual business or you might be a destination, so you look at your data for, let's say, on a macro level, you will see changes, and as we can see here, location, staff, reception, thumbs up, and then, internet, bathroom, technology for Edinburgh, people, have not a lot of positive things to say. So now as a destination, I can consult, I can offer training, I can offer help, I can share this information because I can compare myself versus other destinations to see on a competing basis how we are doing. And we've done the same thing as well for Glasgow. So similar, instead of technology here, we have also some negative sentiment around a room. And we do this in 16 different languages. So if they speak Chinese or Japanese or any European language, we do understand them. And we provide back to our clients only the analytics. So you don't really need to read the reviews because we do it for you, and we show you, the informational value that comes with each and every individual feedback that travelers leave, the crummies they leave online. Then I think this is an important discipline, responding to guests, manage, to online reviews, specifically for the hoteliers, but for any business, let's say, if you do have a profile on TripAdvisor, guests are talking to you, you should respond. If I'm starting to talk to you, you're just hopefully not walking out the door. So you need to take things serious, and it's not only a headache because now I have to respond to all those people, but it's also a possibility, to do marketing. You can bring your own marketing message within the responses and make sure that enough people are actually reading it when they come and visit your TripAdvisor pages. And it's funny, TripAdvisor is fairly well treated, but there's other, channels, people need to pay attention. And, let's say in this case, 60% of reviews are responded on TripAdvisor, so are 70% in Glasgow. But, like Booking or Expedia, just to, use some other very, very big channels who drive a lot of business and a lot of opinion, only a fragment of all reviews are actually answered by, whoever participates and whoever's listing it actually is. So there's lots of information out there, and it helps you to understand your travelers. It helps you to actually do marketing, but marketing in its sense, so who studied marketing in here? So by show of hands. Okay, who saw 4 Ps, 7 Ps, 12 Ps? So there's lots of Ps out there. So, and they were good, but this is to us, this represents the traditional form of marketing. So we have, product, promotion, price, and place, like high, Adobe Photoshop, pictures and leaflets and websites, But today for us, this is changing because, a lot of the opinions are actually built by, people, browsing through websites, in Facebook, I read about my friends. On TripAdvisor, I read about other travelers. So this has changed, forever. We're moving forward, it's about experience, and it's, I think, Alex talked about it, the speaker from Data Lab talked about experience. So experience, that's what we're looking at today. So, and, instead of the 3 E's, we have the 4 E's who will replace, the 4 P's, and everybody who has a digital profile needs to really embrace, because it's not only, a duty that you have to do, but it's also an opportunity that you need to use. So it's all about experience. Okay, so we know this, I think, having listened to the other speakers. People, speak about it, they evangelize their trips. If you stay somewhere, you have an experience, you want to share it. And, in the past, I shared with my partner, I shared it with my family. Today, I can share it with millions of people, and I do. I post it on Twitter, I post it on TripAdvisor and others. So there's a much bigger reach where we exchange information, but also, everybody's has a mobile, and in today's world, about 60 to 70% of all reviews are actually done through, mobile phones. Because you wait at the airport, you take a train, you sit in a cab, you have some time, like 2-3 minutes, you leave a review, you talk about your experience, you post it online. So it's very easy to actually do this. So, and today, very innovative and savvy, digital marketeers, they not only, respond, they also use content. This is the best content that you can use to do marketing. Use content from users, use content from travelers, use content from guests, because this is authentic. You can't make better marketing for yourself. Okay. And like I said before, this is for across the industry, and within the industries, it's not only, let's say, the Michelin star restaurant that have to take care of this. No, it's everybody who, because in the past, you would stand in front of the restaurant, you look inside, you look at the menu, who's inside. Today, I live in Barcelona, I see people, they have their phone out and they're checking, Yelp or Foursquare, how many stars and what do people say, so you really need to take this serious, because your future guests, they're going to come, and Edinburgh, I'm not sure how many travelers come every year, but probably loads. It's a beautiful city, so travelers make plans and they make arrangements, and while they are not here, they make arrangements by reading experiences from other travelers. Impact of reviews, just some statistics. Obviously, reviews are important. People read about it. Obviously, a very high percentage says, it's all about, reviews, but also other user-generated content. All right, so this is, there are statistics by, Expedia, Focusrite. If you have positive reviews, there's more trust. Okay, because it's all about finding out, where do I get, the best experience, for the money, that I'm going to spend. And please take photos, tweet about it, because I think it's important people pay attention to research that is done in that field. Okay, so so now we have the information. We know reviews are important. People make decisions based on experiences. Now, how do we deliver? How do we deliver on our promise? How do we use all this data to actually do so? There is a very defined cycle, and it may or may not apply all the stages, but in the center of guest intelligence, we have several channels how we can gather information. Okay, so we can do this, of course, by online reviews, because they are available. We can have post-day or post-event service where we survey the guests with our own questions. That's a good combination. Why? Because online reviews, you'll see it's very extreme. So you have very positive or very negative. So they love it or they say it's rubbish, but they don't tell you it's rubbish because of those 10 things. If you improve those ones, it's actually great. So you need to find ways to survey and try to find out in improvement areas what are the specifics. So when you actually do make investments, that you can also actually measure afterwards the impact on your guest experience. And then delivering on your promise, you increase your guest satisfaction, and this has a direct impact in review volume. Obviously, people, they like to talk about, positive things, and then you have an improved ranking on, like on the likes of TripAdvisor. Their algorithm works as well by volume of reviews. So if you have a frequent flow of reviews, you will naturally climb the ranks. If you don't receive reviews, they will actually, you will actually, go down in the rankings. Okay, and then obviously all of this, whatever we do with our guests, with our clients, with our travelers, it's all around, how can we maximize the experience, and how can we, how does this impact our, our business? Okay, so this is like how it's done, and also, there's a lot of information out there, but for example, in the hotel space, it's clearly important to share information. Okay, because one thing is like I know it, and another person knows it within the organization, but really you need to share across everyone. And we have done case studies, people using the platform, and they say even without using any of your tools and your statistics and your advanced like capabilities, just because we share with everybody what guests say about their interactions, with the staff, for example, people are more aware, more attentive, and already that has a positive impact on how guest-centric your organization is. So it's not only sales and marketing, it's everything from delivering the service, back office functions, operational functions, and people who greet you when you actually enter, in this case, a hotel. And then from there, like I said, we provide the analytics, so we provide you with insights, for each of your departments. So we can tell you directly, for example, within housekeeping, what happened, within the room space. So if you want to optimize, your delivery around a specific, a headline and then a specific category around cleanliness, we will analyze everything that's being said from your guests and tell you, where you have, improvement areas and what guests are saying, giving you the necessary details to make changes that impacts that specific category as well. Okay. For hotel guests, we have in-stay surveys, because clearly, what you want to do is you want to fix any issues before the guests are actually leaving the property. That's a great way to identify stuff. So you can say just 2 questions. Are you happy so far? If they say yes, 100%, there's no question to be asked. If they say yes, there was an issue, you can follow up and then take action, make the experience great before they leave, and you read a negative review online. You can engage with guests. Everything's available from mobile apps. It's not only the travelers who uses mobiles. Also, we need to use mobiles because we very much mobile as well ourselves. So this information is not only sitting within your laptop, within your desktop, but it's also at your fingertips with our mobile app. So how do clients do use it? So now we're looking at some case studies. So we remember, review content, guests leave, opinions online. Opinions are important, for us to attract travelers, to attract the right audience, understand our audience, and how do we react on it. And now we look at some examples, and we on a destination level. So basically, understanding my visitors, prioritize operational and service improvements, optimize, destination marketing campaigns, and basically drive the tourism and the economic development by better understanding, and how it's done. One client we have is Star Ratings Australia, so they have around 5,000 hotels across all segments, and all of those hotels have a free access to the Review Pro platform through their membership with Star Rating, to providing them with a minimum amount of KPIs to better understand, their performance. Okay, and there's lots of, other opportunities. For example, Cetis, so I said Greece is a client of us. So as a destination, they look at things that, let's say, the individual business does not, because you don't have time, you have your own things to take care of. So on a destination level, they look at things and they say, for example, how do we compete, Athens versus Istanbul, Barcelona, and Rome? Because traditionally when travelers book, make bookings, they might think of those those 4 destinations, and then they see, okay, look, Athens, is lagging behind, for example, Barcelona or Istanbul. Okay, that's data from that was published in 2015. We can do this, also by islands, for example. So everything that is out there, we can aggregate pretty much every digital profile, a business has, like you see before, museums, attractions, restaurants, hotels. We have Formula One circuits, we have attraction parks, we have water parks. So everybody that attracts, that has clients and guests and people leave, comments, we can show their own performance, but also show them how they compete within their market. Okay, and it's actually, and Dr. Iko says, it's actually not what we think, it's what our customers say. And at the end, I hear lots of feedback around, but I know my guests, I know my clients, but in the end, this is only your opinion, and we try to make decisions not based on opinions, but based on, facts, based on information. Okay? And then here in this case, you can then understand your weaknesses, you can drive change, you see changes within the overall index, and for example, there is a study that was conducted by Cornell University. They say that if you can increase your global review index, it has a direct impact on your, on your revenues. Okay, increasing your indexes, increasing your guest satisfaction helps you, increase your business KPIs. And then, marketing messages. If you want to market, your product, listen to what's important, to your clients. In this case, clearly we know, location, is really, really important, for this analysis. And if you want to make sure that this marketing message is heard, remarket it. Make sure that not only guests or clients are talking about it, also make sure that future guests and future clients know about the perfect location. Or they know about, the stuff and the beds and the cleanliness. Or they know about, that, in terms of technology, you invested in new hardware, and let people know, hey, this is what we're actually doing, because people talk about it. And if they talk about it, it's clearly important to them, so pick up on it and make sure this message, is not only, in TripAdvisor, but also make sure it's on your website, in your communication, with potential, other clients. Okay? And then, share feedback, make sure that you share feedback on your own website. People want to read reviews. Okay, so it's not only TripAdvisor. There's lots of content generated, on TripAdvisor or other platforms. And, OTAs and meta search sites, they have understood that content drives, conversion, because before I make a decision, I'd like to read some reviews. And where do I find reviews? If I'm not finding it on your website, then I go to another website, like an aggregator, where I book it from there, and then, me as a business, then I have to pay a fee. So you want to make that business directly, and we help you to also publish reviews, for example, on your website as well. What else? This is focused on corporate sales. We do have several programs where we work with platforms together to help businesses increase their review volume. So we provide technology that businesses can participate in what they call a TripAdvisor review collection program. So you can push and solicit reviews that goes directly to your profile. And we do this not only for TripAdvisor, we also do it for Google, and for Holiday Check is a German channel. Okay, because you need to make sure that you have more recent reviews, because a review that is 6 months old, the impact on my decision is probably fairly low, because what do I know that happened the last 6 months? So if something happened or was given last week, and I'm happy with it, with the experience, I'm more inclined to book that business. So just at the end, a little bit about Review Pro, to put things into context. So that's what we do on a very technical level. So guest intelligence, that's what we define our space, and we do have certain modules around reputation management, survey management, we help optimizing revenue, or we strictly provide data for research or other BI implementations where people looking into big data mashups to analyze, data on specific level, and that provides, insights for, various, units and entities who actually are forming, a lot of the hospitality industry. So hotels, star ratings, consultants, management and representation companies. We work, as I said, we have 3,000 clients on a destination level. We work with, star ratings. In the UK, it's the AA. We work with hostels, Greece, Scottish Enterprise. We work lots with, UNWTO. So everybody who has an interest in data, anyone that, wants to use data, we provide analytics, and we do so since 2009. And we do a lot of, we also give back a lot to the community. So we do lots of studies, we do lots of webinars. Please come and see our blog. Please come and see our website. We have a lot of content, how to increase your rankings on TripAdvisor, how to work with Facebook, how to work with Twitter, case studies and best practices for businesses. That's available for free in our next webinar. I think it's on the 29th. Is free. If you sign up, you cannot attend, we'll send you a recording. So this one definitely is going to be very interesting again as well. So that's it from me. If there are any questions, I'll be around. Otherwise, I'll probably get back to James. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Michael. Again, some of this you may think that's big stuff, and where does it come back to me? But data, it comes back to data. And we've heard earlier from the data lab. And so the issue is, how do you make use of data in your own businesses? It's very interesting to see that this is a clear example of how the industry is finally getting to grips with how we can make information and take guidance from user-generated content. Because the users are taking control, and surveys, what your customers say about you, is incredibly important. I will not book a hotel now without going on TripAdvisor. That's just me. I won't do it. It's my go-to. And so I think most tourists are probably like that as well. And so I'm going to ask a question. In your businesses, any of your businesses, do you have a structured way, hands up this is, if you have a structured way of responding to social media queries and surveys? Good, that's good. Okay. I'm going to ask you another question, a follow-up from that question, for those that have answered that as a yes. Do you think you do it well? Yes or no? Yeah, okay, good. Because I'm quite interested, one of the responses there from the Edinburgh Hotel situation seems to be, let's sort the bathrooms out. That seems to be one of the top things. Sort the bathrooms out. I must admit again, this is me personally. God, I'm telling you a lot about myself today, aren't I? Crucial to me is a really good shower and a comfortable bed. That's all I want from a hotel, really. So yeah, bathrooms, I get it. It's really interesting. I find that is incredible. Yeah, we'll have to have a session with the hoteliers and talk about their bathrooms. Anyway, okay, it's also very interesting. The algorithms, you're talking about semantics and sentiment analysis as the basis of reputation. It's quite interesting that sometimes the use of the words for marketing campaigns can have a slightly strange effect on the algorithms. 2 years ago, I think it was, when the Fringe used the hashtag unboring, it came across as negative, whereas it was supposed to be saying they're not boring. So the algorithms went crazy. So be careful when you're using words on any of your campaigns. Think about how this effect might have on algorithms. And thanks for the 4 E's. I will take that into conversation.